So Kazna crew are going to be starting with Dares in their lineup, and Vetzel is going to be the one who's going to be sitting this one out for him. As we see Oops making a rush straight away to the rail tracks, Mojo.
Yep, this is a big and offensive play by them, but it's not the same like Ding did it, because then they would have even a light tank maybe there. On the other hand, Kazna with Isne there, spotting to see is anyone crossing, and if Isne turns his binos on, he should give them valuable info how to position those tanks. Although Haiba is not that close, he is close enough to help them and approach from the 3 line. And this will be a big fight here.
Big fight just about to happen down here on the south of the map. It's all going to be about positioning. Sealance is probably going to be the first one to go down here, as no, they focus onto Spoink instead. The return fire going back out into Stefan. Lots of damage going into Oops. Spoink still surviving there, 413 health, as the fire coming back out from Oops is nowhere near as effective as Kazna's. Now, there's a bit of a deep breath as the teams pause and position round each other. We see more damage coming into Oops. Nexus being focused a little bit on Kazna, as is Dares. Stefan is also taking damage, as with Eurofish. Now, Haiba isn't in the fight. He's just coming round now. Haiba finally gets the kill into Spoink. Algo coming back round to Courtyard, but this is looking like Kazna are in control here, Mojo.
Kazna was in control because they had better position tanks. The first salvo took a lot of HP out of Oops, that was very visible, but then Oops had 6 tanks against Kazna's 5, but Haiba was really close together with Isne there, and Algo, he's just coming away from the hill now. So this is already over, and he is left alone, and he didn't even fire a shell yet.
Kazna crew look like they're able to take this one out. Oh, I was just going to say, with all tanks available, as Algo just sneaks in to get a kill on Nexus on low health, but there's absolutely nothing Algo can do here.
Ow.
In the AMX 1390, stuck in the corner. He's going to get rammed to death by Haiba and Isne. Kazna fighting over the kill. They're able to win this one with almost 5,000 health advantage to their team. It's very unusual we get a fight down in the bottom of the map that quickly, Mojo.
Well, a lot of teams actually can do it, but it's a bit risky. If you saw last game when Ding and Utopia did it, the difference is Utopia was not really prepared mentally for that conflict. They just sent tanks down, and they did not expect Ding to actually come there. So they were mostly on the rail and in some backed up positions, but you saw Kazna played here like the fight will come there.
Mm-hmm.
Fully committed as if enemy would come there, and if they don't, then they would play something else. So that was the original positioning from all the tanks. You saw 1390 spotting the middle, Ice4 covering the 8th line and watching down so he can just storm down and come from the back, and all 5 guys positioned only to shoot one spot when enemy crosses.
Yep, it was very nicely played there by Kazna. Now let's have a look at the stats for the damage done there. Stefan. Nexus, Eurofish, then Mayland in the grill, but yeah, the gun line of Kazna was very well positioned, and Stefan doing a lot of damage there on his 50B.
I mean, all the clippers of Kazna had a perfect position to do all those shots, so there was more or less nothing Kazna could really do there.
And the action was over so quickly, we weren't even really able to get any good highlights available from that fight, because everything went so quickly in such a short space of time. Now, Kazna crew in the driving seat here. They are 1-0 up against Utopia. Against Oops. Do you think, Mojo, that they can take it 2-0?
Well, now Kazna will be playing in attack. Honestly, I have a feeling that a lot of teams actually feel more comfortable as attackers, but I don't think Kazna will be rushing that much now. I mean, they will take their time to see where Oops is and then adjust, because Oops knows to play also fast when they're defending.
Yes, both of these teams can switch up the pace and play a slow game, or they can play a fast game. I don't think we're going to get many games like Swift, where we're just going to be ran down to the last minute or two. Ooh. Hopefully that's not jinxing it with Caster Curse again. Ooh. There's one thing I can do, is jinx a player or jinx a match.
We should make a good new name for Swift for the next season.
Slow.
What's slower than slow?
Delayed. Let's have a look at the lineups for the next round here. As we can see the tank lineup from Oops, and that's quite bold there, Mojo, with 5 AMX 50Bs. And 5. An ST1. What's that going to be doing?
550Bs, a VZ, and an ST1. Maybe Oops will try to do something like mid-courtyard control with these guys, and they might actually push that VZ and ST1 to play behind him. Or they will just go 5 guys on rail and leave these guys to fend for themselves in a back. So that's also a possibility. Kazna, overall default setup, we've said it so many times. Why is it so default? Because it can rotate around, it can spot a lot with 1390 and butt and it can go in hold down with 113s if needed.
And the team players in Kazna are the exact same, so we're going to see Dares staying in the team here. He's now going to be in a 50B. Now, the AMX 50s for Oops, we're going to see Algo, Camille, Fisa, Spoink, and Mayland. Let's jump into the action as we can go into round 2 here on Himmelsdorf. Silence is going to be playing on the STI, and Percussia is going to be in the Wheezy 111.
Let us see. It doesn't really matter what will Kazna at the moment do. It's more important where are the Oops 50Bs going.
Going to fight in the same place.
It will be an interesting one because these tanks are not all meant to go there. Like Silons and VZ can be usually left behind. And Silons is, as you can see. So if they fight in the same place, Kazna would win for sure.
Percussia going for a bit of courtyard spotting here. See if you can see any of the tanks from Kazna crew. Kazna crew just stopping at the church here as the rest of Oops continue down the 1-2 line. Alien is spotted by Percussia.
We've seen actually Oops positioning the tanks there by the church last time, but they didn't connect any shots. We will see will Kazna actually do better now. There is a lot of Kazna guys here positioned, and we will see how will the first Oops guy who peeks do.
Mayland is the first one spotted. He gets hit there from 2 tanks. So return fire coming back out, going into Nexus and Dares. Camille's now taking shots on Oops as well. See a big massive ricochet coming off his tank. Nexus taking another shot. Damage going in Kazna crew's favour. Health pool's roughly the same. Now Spoink has a completely broken turret ring. He just got that fixed by the repair crew on his tank. Bad rotation from him. He's going to have a slower turret turning. Kazna not taking anywhere near as much damage realistically as what Oops had.
Yes, because let's not forget, Kazna actually has a tier 8 light tank with 1100 health compared to Percussiat, who is 1850, or Silence, who has 100 HP more than a Bachat on an alien. So Oops from the start had a lot of more HP, but they wasted it. And you can see now there is a problem because Camille and Mayland are on half HP they should have.
Yep, now Kazna are driving up this road and in effect setting a little trap to see if Oops can go around and follow it. Oops are split up at the moment trying to get picks onto anyone from Kazna they can see as Isne gets a shot into Silence there and backs away. He was heading towards base number 2, but that was just a bait more than anything. Fisa and Camille going to be the first ones round this corner as Kazna are still angled in this road facing both angles. Oops going for courtyard control. This could work in their favour. Isne is going to perhaps give a little bit of information. They're going to get a jump onto Alien, but Alien's behind the hills. Camille gets focused on this road where Kazna had set the trap. The return fire going back into Eurofish. Camille's the first one to be dropped. He's on Oops, he's down. Eurofish on Kazna is dropped as well. Kazna crew still in the driving seat here. They have so much more HP than Oops to be able to trade right now.
Hyper should start driving toward the Oops guys because he's a single shooter tank. Soon no one will have shells, and he is the one who should be in effect then and deal with them. Percussiat will be flanked by Stefan from the back, and that's probably the downfall of Oops in this game.
Stefan's going to come off a reload here and clip into Percussia. Haiba was blocking him. He's going to let him drive round the corner now, but Spoink getting a shot into Haiba is just too little too late at the moment as Stefan can just turn and kill Spoink as he does. Now we see Percussia falling. Now, Silence is trying to come down and help into the battle, but Yizne's just going to cut him off and distract him as Alien's going to go over and get shots into him as well. Algo going down here as well. That is so many tanks falling for Oops. Kazna crew taking this one 2-0 Mojo. It looks like this might go all the way and just continue this way. Oops are looking very, very ropey, and Kazna are looking very strong at the moment.
Well, in the last couple of matchings we were watching from Kazna, Himmelsdorf and Mainz were mostly the maps. If they would win or make any kind of comeback, those were the maps. They would do it and they would take the both games. So, Oops losing here. It's one of the most expected maps out of the pool that you would actually expect it when they meet. But we will see what will happen on the next ones, because Cliff is not a map that either of them is that experienced on.
One thing's for sure in Cliff is we're going to see some bat chats.
Yes, and that's usually an understatement. Some guys on the chat asked, why so many bat chats in this league? Well,
Cliff is just such an open map. It's really important to have as many shots as possible and so much DPM. Now let's have a look at the damage in that battle, where it all came from. I'd expect at least the top 3 to be Kazna, but there we go, the top 4 to be Kazna.
all 50 Bs from Kazna are in top damage with dealing, and also an Ilian, which is unexpected for me. I was expecting one of the constant shooters like Haiba maybe, but I guess he didn't have good enough shots there. So not really well going on for Oops at the moment there.
Yeah, not going Oops' way at all. It's a bit like Oops yesterday. They looked really, to be honest, pretty weak for a while when they were playing Utopia. They had a bit of a
Not playing.
stand up against them, but it's just not quite working for them. They need to have Insane and Melan together, it looks like. Now, this is where the trap was sprung by Kazna. I mean, Camille gets dropped. Eurofish goes down really quickly as well, but he was a front tank. I mean, just look how many tanks in Kazna still have all their health right now.
Insane is not playing, and he disappeared yesterday during the middle of the match, and I really hope it's something real life and not a team issue there.
Hope it's something okay that they can perhaps have him back in the team for the rest of the matches. Now, Kazna crew 2-0 up here. We're going to be getting ready to go into map number 2, which is going to be Cliff. Let's have a look at the lineups from each team, and we can play Count the Bat Chats.
Wow, you're almost psychic there, Ryan. Did you steal my crystal ball?
Yes. So Kazna crew on the defense, they're taking a TVP and a T54 lightweight as well for their 2 non-tier 10 picks. Well, 1 non-tier 10 picks. And
Kazna is one of the rare teams that actually prefers the T54 light to T49 that most of the guys take when they're playing defense of the Cliff. On the other hand, the offensive side of Oops, nothing unexpected there. Some guys like to play with Rue and maybe even 1 TVP, but you can see a lot of lineups like this with 7 Bachats, 2 tier 9 and 5 tier 10 ones.
indeed, so Bat Chats all round, one of the favoured setups for Daki. Daki doesn't mind teams normally changing out, but he does like Bat Chats having, or does like teams having an all Bat Chat setup just because of the additional flexibility that they can be used here on Cliff. Now we're going to see the fight over the Lighthouse. It always happens here on Cliff. It's a very dominating position, and a lot of it depends on teams being able to climb up there safely and the crossfire being available to them when they do so. I can tell you that there is a little swapsy in the roster from Kazna, where we see Vetso coming in for Dares this time round.
Well, we saw yesterday when Oops actually tried to push 1-2 line on a Cliff. They got absolutely annihilated and wrecked and shreked by Utopia. I really hope they will be not a repeat of that one, because that was a sad display.
Okay, so let's jump into map number 2, which is going to be Cliff. Kazna crew leading Oops 2-0. And here we go. There's a shot of the migrating giraffes moving across the plains here of Cliff.
The fighting tribe of the giraffes.
Fighting, migrating tribe of tough giraffes in their bat chats.
And their scout Algo going first. Will that mean he will pick up all the first shells?
Indeed. You go first, mate. Check for us. Oh, he's dead. Okay, there's enemy guys there. Well played, red shirt. Well played.
Well, there is a boosting game here in effect by Oops. Kazna, on the other hand, since they have Isne spotting them, the F3, they do know there is no crossfire, so they will just take a road like a gentleman and they will drive up.
Going up that way when there's no crossfire is one of the easiest things and the happiest things to do.
Oopsie.
Oh, silence. Uh-oh. Shh. Try again. Careless whispers. Oh, Spoink, you put him off. Spoink nearly fell there. The mountain goat.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Today I watched the match from CIS that was played yesterday between Hellraisers and NSS. And they climbed up an STB and Object 140 from the side where Oops is.
Impressive. Mainland.
So you do not need a Bacha to go up there, guys. You just need skill and fingers.
Well, Gohard did take a mouse on this map. I have no idea if they were planning to try and get the mouse up there, but it didn't work because
That would take longer than 10 minutes.
they just completely ignored the mouse and shot the rest of their team. Now Nexus is going to come up here as well in the TVP. And then Kazna crew have got complete hill dominance. And all Oops can do is just slide round the side of it. Spoink is leading the way, saying follow me. If anyone was to follow him, it would be Camille. Camille has fallen off this area before. Fishy getting crossfire shots here into Percusiat. Percusiat might extend too far around and get shot at by the rest of Kazna, who's going to come down the hill. We see Isni has shots on him as well. We see Camille taking a shot there on the hill as well. It looks like Oops are a bit 6s and 7 as we see Algo as the first one dropped. Eurofish is taking shots back in return. Percusiat down below is getting shot at. Camille takes another shot. Percusiat now has a damaged gun as we see Spoink now taking a hit. Oops. I mean, it's good that you're hanging on to the side of the hill here, but your positioning for it is absolutely terrible, and Kazna are in complete control right now, Mojo.
Well, if you want to know how some teams are doing it, yes, you go for that clinging actions, but you keep a couple of Bachats back so they can have a crossfire on those guys that are trying to do that moving around the mountain. And once you get positions, then you rotate with those mediums and do the rotation that Oops tried to do and got greeted by Kazna. But if you neglect any of those steps, and that's why Cliff is so tactical now, this is what happens.
Now, the only tank down the bottom who has crossfire is Percusiat, but Percusiat's on a one-shot. He's only got 328 health. Mainland's on a one-shot. Spoink's on a one-shot. Sealance is on a one-shot. Feaster has all his health. Camille has half his health.
Percusiat has their gun.
Kazna crew have 6 tanks available, and they all have at least 800 health, other than Stefan, who's at 693. It really is not going in their favour whatsoever at the moment for Oops, and at some point Kazna crew are just going to say, okay, let's end this one, and we're going to go 3-0 up quite comfortably. It's just a case of when they decide to go, as Sealance is now down to 45 health. Camille is now dead. Alien just comes down the hill and rams him. We see Percusiat now dying. We see Sealance now dying. Spoink is going to be the next one to die. Alien's going to get this kill. As he does, Kazna crew come running down the hill, and they're just like, let's play Find Fisa. GG Kazna crew.
Can do it, Fitza. Couple of more shells and they're all dead.
You can do it!
Well,
Oh, he gets the kill. Vesso nearly kills himself jumping down the hill here. And there we have it. 3-0 Kazna crew. And that's in control for them. Now, how do you see this going now, Mojo?
At the moment, it doesn't really look good for Oops at all. And I can't even say it's good because either they don't show any will to play this, or they are lacking insane here as a leader too much.
True, or it just could be the mind games of, well, we can, because if Kazna win this, then it means that Oops are then going to play Go Hard.
Yeah, we can debate this endlessly because we cannot know the reasons for this. Who prefers to play Swift? Who prefers to play Go Hard? Is it the case, or they're just plain losing, or they're just playing those mind games? We will never know. We need to see the match.
Yes, now let's have a look at... Well, actually, before we do it, who do you think came top damage?
In this sloppy game? Say Stefan.
Nexus for me. Let's have a look and see at the stats.
Wow. High five, nice.
Good guess for me. Camille coming second top, then Stefan, then Percusia, and then the next 3 all Kazna crew players. So another dominating win there, realistically, for Kazna crew. Oops just don't seem to be getting it together right now. They're playing very much like a novice team, rather than the experienced team that we know them to be.
Algo the scout saw the enemy.
Algo saw them.
The enemy.
Yep, well done. He found the enemy. Can't fault him for that. Now talk us through the highlights, Mojo.
Once we see them, for sure. Well, this is already the moment the Percusiat pushed Fishy here. Fishy was defending the flank of Kazna. But what I already said, if you really want to do these flanking maneuvers here, you need to keep some bachats in the back on the rocks. just sniping if Kazna budgets, peek over the ridge and try to do anything. And once you get the positions you want, then you rotate around and push around the corner. But like this, it was a bit suicidal.
Yes,
Just
it was kind of unusual play, realistically, from Oops. Now the teams are going to swap positions. It's going to go into round 2 of Batchat City. Let's have a look at the lineups here and see if I am correct. Exact same lineup, actually, we see from Kazna.
Kazna playing the same in offense, same as in defense. On the other hand, Oops is just replacing one budget for a TVP for some ground control. They can boost him somewhere. If you remember the game that Gohard had in defense, Nile in that TVP did really awesome damage.
Yep, that was the area where teams have put Scorpion up to before, for example.
Yeah, but to be honest, like that was the first time I've seen anyone do significant damage or have any impact on a game from that position.
It worked really well
Usually
for them. And they got rushed in that position as well, so
yes,
it worked out in their favour eventually. Now we can jump straight into the action on Cliff, where Kazna Crew are leading Oops 3-0. Can Kazna Crew make it 4-0 and go match point going into map number 3, which will be Mines? Or are Oops able to bring a match back, bring a battle back even, so it's going to be 3-1 going into Mines?
Kazna is playing stick together team and they're pushing for the lighthouse, while Oops is sending Algo again away alone to check out what's going on 1-2 line. The remainder of the forces is together in Mainland in the TVP. He's actually joining the rest of the tanks. He will not be back. So they might expect a big clash because Algo should signal them there is no one going on, but then there will be 6 on 7.
We're getting a good old-fashioned gunfight here on the hill. And here we go as the teams spot each other. Camille is the first one to get shot as he backs off and goes into silence. He drops, he's the first one to go. Oops have lost a tank already, but in return they're focusing Nexus and Haiba. Haiba's gone to Kazna Crew. Fisa's gone to Oops. Spoink has gone to Oops. Silos has gone to Oops. Oops have only 3 tanks left. No, they only have 2 tanks left as Percusia is just about to die as well. Kazna Crew still have 5 tanks left. It's 5-2 right now in the way of vehicles, and that is it, Mojo. All gone.
Well, that's a short cast there. It's a short attack also. When you push here, guys, on a cliff, usually the team that falls over just pushes to the enemy, wins. That's something that Kazna learned well on the grand finals from EL Gaming, not once, but twice.
Mainland and Algo might sacrifice, or might actually get back some honor for their team, as they can perhaps get a couple of kills at the end. But Kazna Crew only have 3 tanks left. It looks closer than it really is, as there's just simply no health left for Oops, and everyone's on reloads anyway. There's nowhere for anyone to go. And there we have it, one of the quickest battles we've ever saw this season, to be honest.
This is something looking like a good old cliff. It was before the physics and before it became one of the most tactical maps ever.
Yeah, when it was tier 8s, that was how EL Gaming managed to get all the way through.
Even in
to the
tier
last
10
rounds.
Before physics, and even before physics was really learned how to.
If everyone would just rush that area in bat chats, and then it would be.
That was the main.
And then it would be like, I'm off for reload, and they just run away.
Yeah, who's alive? He runs away.
And then they come back in again. It was like the deep breath.
Well, this was a lapse here, like some Back to the Future.
Yeah. Nice quick match. I'd imagine we don't really have any highlights for that one. But here's an interesting one, Mojo. Who do you think was top damage?
I know who wasn't. Algo wasn't, for sure.
Not Algo.
Neither was Camille.
Not Camille.
I can't remember who survived from Kazna.
I'm going to hazard a guess at Stefan.
Stefan, I think.
Let's have a look at the stats.
Yay!
Bam! We are on point right now with the guessing the who's still standing. Mainland was actually a good bet because he was still around as well at the end. So Mainland second top damage dealer. But I mean, number 1 Stefan, and then the next 3 out of 5 all coming from Kazna Crew.
Yeah, Kazna did well there on focus fire. Oops, tanks just died instantly. I mean, when Kazna went on reload, they did some slight return, but that's just the optical illusion because once they got the clips back, that was it.
Spoink and Camille got absolutely demolished there at the start of the battle. So did Haiba, though, in return. So actually, we do have highlights, Mojo. Talk us through them.
Wow. that will be the moment when the Kazna pushes in. Camille died in a second, as you can see by the top fire from the upper tanks. And Oops losing that little ridge where Fishy, Vetso, and Ilian are practically lost the game in an instant. You need multiple tanks there if you want to hold out a fight like this. You do not want to be in a lower position like they ended up.
It happened all so quickly. I was able to just call out the action by simply watching the bars on the left and right. I couldn't follow the action in the middle of it because there was so many shots going so quickly. So I was only able to see who was dropping and not who was shooting each other.
Can you imagine how it is in the middle of that battle?
Yeah, just like everyone just going, here, no, me, help, ah!
It's
you know?
actually less chaotic than it looks, because when you drive to those positions, players are already calling where are they going exactly.
Yeah.
Are they going up, down, who is focused first, and then it's just about the skill and coordination.
Yeah, it just breaks out into individual plays and who can get the shots out. Now, 4-0, Kazna crew in the driving seat. We're going into...
Should I say it?
Yes, because... Well,
you know I can't pronounce it, mate.
Go on, say it.
Mains.
That is the worst Scottish accent attempt ever.
Sorry.
Mines. 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 Mins. Mines. You guys are so mean.
I'm gonna practice my Dwarvish.
Dwarvish, yes.
I think you should like sue Tolkien and everyone for
Yeah.
that. They stole your accent.
Default accent for dwarfs will just make them sound Scottish. Now, Mines, nothing really stand out is here, although we do see a T10 from Kazna.
Well, Kazna in defense, that's favorable position on mines for sure. Here, T10, that could be, I mean, with this, they have two options. They can push, they actually can push the hill with this, or they can use the T10 somewhere below the hill and just play around with the rest of the tanks. But it's really peculiar because they have a tier 9 budget also, so that means they might even do a rotation. Well, let's see.
Okay, let's find out indeed as we're getting ready to go into our third map of the day. And it's going to be our fifth battle, which is going to be Mines. Okay, so we see another substitution here for Kazna crew, as Nexus actually looks like to be the one who's dropped down, and we see there's back up in the team.
Well, since Oops has an arty here, I believe Kazna will play as aggressive as they can, but Oops is really going for the hill also. So there might be a huge brawl there.
That's going to be a guaranteed big brawl. It looks like Kazna actually might just hold their lanes.
Climb.
Camille gets up, Fisa gets up, Algo is way too slow in getting up, so Oops do have the hill. And what was looking like a big massive brawl has paused. Although Alien has showed himself over the hill, they're going to try and quickly focus him.
Oh, this is going to be messy because Kazna did not climb enough tanks here to deal with something like this. If Oops actually has enough tanks, they can just push Ilian and Stefan. Haiba's getting wrecked.
Haibas took some massive shots from the tanks that got up into the middle there, so they're going to quickly focus him down. He's limping away here on 177 health. Alien has taken a lot of damage as well, as has Stefan. Although in return on Oops, we've seen Fisa getting all the way down to 506 health. We now see Camille going down to 730, but they're the only two tanks in Oops that have taken damage.
Look at Vetso, Fish and Isna. They're going through the water. Percusiat will disappear here. What is he doing there alone?
Kazna crew running through the water and getting shots into Percusia and killing him. Milan got caught out as well. He was on that spot I say he always goes to. He's going to try and get the jump into Haiba. He has one shot left. Haiba actually is able to get a kill there onto Fisa. Algo is also getting shots in as well, but he goes... No, he's still alive, actually. Haiba still surviving against Milan, but here comes Vetso and Eurofish as well on the wraparound.
What happened here? Why did Oops send two mediums away when they didn't win the hill to climb left and right? Ridiculous.
Well, Isne is going to get the kill onto Sealance here. Oops with only two tanks left. Okay, they're on full health, but they're against 5 guns of Kazna crew.
Yeah, it's like hold your mountains. Have them.
Spoink
Bon appetit.
Spoink just sitting here beside this rock, thinking to himself, guys, what just happened? Like, where did everyone go? And Algo's up on the hill. Good positioning, Algo, but like nothing you can really do. Kazna crew can happily just run the clock down. Spoink is spotted. He gets the shot back out into Isne, but he takes one in return.
You see, there is a slight problem with Spoink's position here. There is only one way out, and that's the exactly one that they are aiming.
Kazna crew would have just been thinking to themselves, man, it would have been nice if we had artillery. Urofish taking a shot there from Algo. Algo takes one back in return. Vetso finally starting to reload here as he can get round the corner, keep himself safe. Now the thing is Vetso has a lot of health, Urofish has a lot of health, Isne has a lot of health. Spoink and Algo are going to get their health chipped down bit by bit by bit. Algo's already down to 708 health. And this should be an extremely easy win now for Kazna, and that's going to be 5-0.
And Stefan showing us how do you do climbs on mines, classy as ever. Algo will be conveniently in reload, so Stefan can just never mind that. He can be picked up by Haiba.
Haiba, who got an absolute pummeling at the start, says, thank you very much, I'll take that free kill. Vetso's going to run up here and to deal with Spoink, or just keep him proxied, so the rest of his team can rain shot after shot into him.
Why didn't Vetso just climb?
I don't know what he's done. I think he's just doing it to proxy. Let Haiba and Isne shoot at him. There's a lot of shots coming in. Urofish has angles as well on
Why
him.
didn't he just climb up?
What's he done? Has he stopped? I don't know why he wanted. He's reloading. He doesn't know that. But yeah, he's doing it as a proxy.
Why didn't he just climb up? He can proxy him from up, and then he can go down while Spoink is on the reload and just kill him.
Yep.
Is Stefan the only one who can do the climbs?
Maybe. Maybe nobody else knows how to do the climbs there. That'd be quite funny if they had nobody left in their team that could actually do that climb.
There it go.
Yep.
Stefan comes.
Isne coming down as well. And Stefan can catch him on reloads.
And classy as ever again. But Spoink will have...
Stefan's going to die here.
Oh, come on!
He did the right thing to get behind him. If he died in front of him, nobody else would be able to get the shots.
Stefan, nice.
Stefan gets the kill. Kazna crew win this one 5-0. And that was quite a quick evening, Mojo.
It was one of the fastest ones we had, if not the fastest one we had.